Hi, everyone, and welcome to the first live feed of 2020. Melissa is getting herself ready for the day, so she's not going to be joining us just yet. She might join on a little while after she comes downstairs. In fact, she doesn't even know I'm doing a live feed probably right now, but here I am. It had been a little while since we chatted about, I guess, what is happening next. I kind of wanted to cover off this year, what I have planned for 2020. And I haven't done a live feed where I could chat back and forth with you guys for a little while. And hi, Jennifer and Sherry. See you guys. Miguel, nice to see you. Panama Red. Oh, and Melissa's on. Melissa, I could see she's moderating, probably from upstairs. Anyway, hopefully she'll come downstairs in a minute. My nervous laugh. My nervous laugh for Melissa this morning is because we were pesting each other yesterday, and I wouldn't say that I won at the pesting, but I think she's going to get me back when I least expect it. Kind of pulling pranks on each other, and I think that she's going to get me when my back is turned or something. So I'm nervous. I'm nervous laughing because of that. Okay, so 2020. 2019 was a really big year. In January of 2019, I kind of vowed that 2019 was going to be our biggest year so far for the channel, and it ended up being the biggest year for our life. We started off by buying the Potter's house. That was ridiculous and crazy and fun. We bought a general store and restored that. I bought a Rolls-Royce and started restoring that, which I'm still not done yet. Still working on that. And ended up getting a house for Hans. It was crazy. Went out and visited Adam. It was a really big year. So I can't imagine having that type of year again without completely knocking myself out. It's just been nuts. Oh, at the end of the year, I bought that giant storage unit too. So really, really busy. Digital Canucks, thank you very much. Love from Matawa, Ontario. Thank you. It was, I can't even think back on all the things that happened last year. Like if I had to put that in resume form and somebody said, tell me about the last year of your life, it would just be like this big, giant, huge story of things that happened. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that again, but I do have some big plans. I do have some things we want to do. So here's my list of priorities of things that I want to. Yeah, finding Heather, that was last year. Thank you. Of course, that was probably the biggest thing that happened last year was finding my sister. It was insane. And it's funny, Heather is not the least of my mind. It's just funny that it feels like I've always known her. I don't know if you've ever discovered a relative or a sister or sibling that you've never known your whole life, but with the minute I met Heather and her family, it just felt like they were family forever. And I was talking about this with my mom last night, that we just kind of met them and just kind of got to know them, but they instantly felt familiar. And I don't know if it's genetics or I don't know what it is, but they all felt like family. So it was really easy to get to know them. Anyway, really glad that Heather and her family are in my life, and that is actually part of what's going to be happening this year. Oh, thank you very much, Karen. So let's talk about. I guess I'll recap where I ended 2019, and then I'll kind of get into. We'll get into 2020. Ending off in 2019, I had the. Restoration of the Rolls-Royce was midway completed, and I had just bought a storage unit, which I took the videos down for personal reasons anyway. All that stuff is going through auction and being sold off. So now I'm at a spot starting off 2020 where I have not even a half-finished Rolls-Royce project in the garage. It's like maybe 20% along the way. The goal is to get that car finished up. I'm hoping to be driving it by spring, summer. There's a lot of work that's going to happen before that is done, but it's going to be pretty awesome once it's all done. Yeah, I'll have to wear the top. 3D Jimmy says you'll have to wear your top hat when you go for a ride, but then the top hat will fly off. I'll have to have like a ribbon tied around it with a big bow under my chin. If you don't look eccentric enough wearing either a top hat and a bow tie, or B, driving in an old Rolls-Royce convertible, I think just adding a big red ribbon with a bow under my chin would just be the main thing. So anyway, we're going to try and get that car finished up. Partly, some people were asking, why did I even pick that car to restore? The Rolls-Royce convertible is not my dream car by any means, but I found it, or it kind of found me, depending upon how you look at it. And I feel the need to kind of save things that have gone by the wayside. And everybody said, oh, you can't fix that car, or it's a piece of junk, or just scrap it. And I've been told that so many times. I was told that with the Potter's House. I was told tear it down, it's no good. I was told that with my general store, tear off the whole back end of it, it's no good. I was told that with the Rolls-Royce, and I just like it's the ultimate form of recycling almost. You take something that people think is garbage and you make something out of it. My friend Josh does that with his artwork. He finds scraps and bits and pieces. I try and find properties, buildings, and cars that are, maybe a little too far gone for most people and do something with it. So that's the plan, is I'm going to continue working on the Rolls-Royce. I might get it off for paint fairly soon. I'm going to see if I can find a paint and body shop here to get it out and get it painted. I can put the interior all back in. But before I do that, I have probably another video or two in my garage before it goes off for paint of testing out the electrical and mechanical and seeing what kind of shape that's in. So I'll probably continue working on that Rolls-Royce project for the first little part of this year. But there's a couple other things planned. I am going to New York City in February because one of the other things I want to do this year is focus on fine-tuning my business. Now, I am, of course, here on YouTube, and I share my life and my family's life with you guys so you can see what we're up to. But I also am a business owner, and I have to try and manage my business effectively, and I have to try and, sorry, I'm just removing somebody from the chat. There we go. I'm trying to manage the business effectively. So as a entrepreneur and a business owner, you have to look at your product and you have to try and decide, now that we've had a few months of sales under our belt in the new location, what is selling and what's not selling, and what product category should I go into more and what should I move away from. So we're really trying to fine tune the business and make sure that it is all in order. Oh, hi, Phil, I see that you're on there. I didn't see your PayPal. Phil wanted to buy that really cool hot air balloon penny machine that came in the other day. I will look for it. If it came through PayPal, I'll get that sent out soon. It's funny, and we're doing business here right now. Okay, so I have to fine-tune my business. Part of fine-tuning that business is going to New York City, where they're doing the International Toy Fair. It's the biggest toy fair that really happens pretty much anywhere in the world. Part of what we do and what we carry at the shop is I have a little toy department. I have a candy counter. We try and keep everybody, I want to make an environment so we have really cool high-end antiques and collectibles for the parents. But so I didn't want to be an antique store that when they brought their families in, that the kids and other people would be bored. So I've been making it very interactive. I have pinball machines and arcade machines set up that any kid can play when they come in the store. And what's funny is that this is a true story. One of the kids, every day after school, I don't film this because for their privacy and so forth, but every day after school, we have these kids from the school across the street come over. And like clockwork, around 3:30 when they get let out of school, they tootle across the street, they walk in my doors. They usually eye up the candy counter first and maybe buy 50 cents or $1 worth of candy. And then they go back and they play a pinball machine for a little bit. So the other day, this one little guy came in and he was eating candy and playing pinball and doing all that kind of stuff. And he said, "Can I have my 12th birthday party here?" And I said, "Well, I'm not really set up to do birthdays. You can come here on your birthday if you like, but we're not really set up to do parties." But I think he thought it was such a fun place, like one of those playlands where kids go on slides and have games and stuff. He thought it was so fun, he wanted to actually host his birthday party at my store. So I guess we're doing some things right in that regard. We're not a stuffy antique store. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. And the mission, I guess, is to continue carrying things that are going to appeal to a wide audience. We carry some modern giftware, we carry some modern toys, but we also want to get more into some of the very unique and interesting things. If you think of the world of antiques, I kind of want to hit the top 10% of the cool stuff in my mind that's out there. Old tethered cars and really high-end train sets and old arcade machines, and I want it to be a magical wonderland. So part of me going to New York is to source new products, if that makes sense, at the toy fair and see what kind of stuff would be available for our shop. I will do a meetup when I'm out there. I think February 21st around 7 p.m. I'm going to try and find a coffee shop or a place right in Manhattan that we can just get together and have a small get together. So if anybody's in New York around that time, then that would be great. nice to get together with y'all. Also, if anybody's in New York City and they have a crazy cool collection of some stuff they might want to sell, you can look me up too, because I think I'm going to be spending a day or two at the toy fair itself, but then I'll have another day or two to explore New York. And this time, I want to do the Statue of Liberty and the Empire State Building. And Melissa, bless her soul, has a fear of small spaces and heights. So we got to the main floor of the Empire State Building last time we were there, and the elevator door opened, and she was like, "Wait a minute, we have to go in that tiny little elevator." And she was like, full of people, she says, yeah. And she went, "Nope." And she basically took off. She hightailed it out of there. So I never got to go up to the top of the Empire State Building, but that's going to be fun, I think. Melissa doesn't want to go, but I think it'll be fun. So that's going to be New York. New York is part of my mission this year to improve the business and to make it a little bit better and to carry some better products. So that's why I'm going. And the other part of our business improvement this year is that I want to build another building. Now, as of today, as of talking to you, I have A, don't have the money for it, B, don't have designs drawn up yet, and C, don't have the permits to do it yet. But is that going to stop me? Well, heck no. No, it's not. I'm going to find a way to persevere. I've started talking to the city already. We have this empty lot that's between my building and the building next door that is part of my property, and it's never been developed in over 100 years. There's never been anything on there. So I'm going to see if maybe I can find some, cool retro designs. I want to essentially build a expansion of my current business, but make it look like it's a completely different heritage building. Try and get some ideas for architecture, and maybe I'll get some ideas while I'm in New York for what the front of it could look like. And, I've talked to a construction firm already and to an architect, and, we'll see what happens. But, at some point we'll have to try and figure out how to raise the capital to do all that. If my other building would just sell, that would be a big help. So if you're in the Edmonton area and you need a commercial building, you should buy our other space. Anyway, and yes, to 3D Jimmy again. I don't know why I'm seeing your comments. Maybe because you're putting it all in caps, but I saw you. We are going to metal detect that space, that yard, thoroughly in spring before we do any kind of construction on that site. Now, I'm talking like this is going to happen because I really hope this is going to happen. Sorry, Lulabelle, I didn't see what your question was. If you want to ask it again. I'm trying to read and chat at the same time. I'm assuming, yes.
The old space yet.
Oh, no, I still have, sorry, Lulu, I still have the old location. Like my store that was in my original opening and the store that we did, that we had before, I still own that building. And it has not sold yet because there's a few buildings like it that are in that area for sale. So it's a little bit... the market's a little overwhelmed in that area right now. Let's see. Yes, I am renting the Potter's house. I'll answer a couple of questions here before I talk about what's next. I am renting the Potter's house, and yes, I certainly do hope that I'll be able to make this building come together. So I essentially have a plan, cement foundation, it has to be fireproof, probably steel girder, walls and panel. And then basically invest my money on the front part of the building so it looks really old-fashioned and cool and interesting. And then perhaps there might be, an opportunity for me to do something really fun. And I want to give back to that neighborhood. I think part of the nice thing about being part of a community like that is that you can be something interesting for the people that live in that community. And what I'd like to do is maybe have like a soda fountain, maybe an old-fashioned arcade in there. That's why I'm asking on my Facebook page if anybody has any old arcade machines. I wouldn't mind doing something really cool and interesting, unique in that space. Expanding what my current business is, but maybe moving the candy and soda and all that, and expanding upon that. Maybe coffee shop, who knows. We're going to explore any opportunities that there are, and we'll see what comes next. So that is hopefully by the time I talk to you and do some live feed, maybe at the end of this year, I will have progressed and made it that far. So I'll answer a couple questions. So that's about the business. Hans is doing great. I talk to him all the time. Kathleen says she knows an arcade dealer in Manitoba that's a family friend. Well, send him my way. We're very happy to reach any new contacts and any new people that might have cool stuff for sale. And that's the mission. So we're going to try and get that all sorted out, get the building in order. In the meantime, I'm going out to New York to source some product. I'm going to be going to Colorado, where my sister Heather is going to be renewing her wedding vows, so I'll be going back to Colorado. I'm there for a few days. There might be time to do a meetup while I'm down in Colorado Springs. We'll see. Probably go on some more adventures, and going to try very hard to come up with some new exciting adventures. But for me, the big thing this year is fine-tuning my business the best I can, making it extra exciting. I'm also planning on talking to the city of Edmonton. They chatted with us last year about putting us on sort of a tour bus roster. So when tours come through, and tours do, where people will, from overseas will pay money to come to Canada and they go through the mountains and then they'll stop in Edmonton and stuff. They want to make us one of the pit stops along the way. So I have to consider how the store is laid out and how the store is built to accommodate the type of traffic that'll be coming through. And there's a lot of interest in the fact that our building is still a Wild West boomtown kind of building that's not been altered or monkeyed with in many years. So I think I will be have talked to Josh, Ushitat, or My Hands Gallery. I've talked to Josh about possibly doing an extension of the old-fashioned shelving at the front of the store, going all the way up to the ceiling, doing something fancy there, and getting a little bit more creative. Let's see. I am just looking. Phil says check out Phantasm. They're good friends. They're the magic guys. I've carried their stuff before. And
the Ancient Journal.
Oh, the Ancient Journal. Okay, well, it's not ancient, but the 1700s Irish nobleman's book that I featured a while back. I've sent pictures of it out to a couple of the auction houses. Most of the auction houses that are in the U.S. want there to be more talk of the American Revolution. They're not as interested from the British side, and that's what this is. This is like a British person's perspective of things like the American Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars, and all very interesting stuff. But for the people who are in North America that I've talked to so far, they're more interested in if it was an American's view or an American's general's view of battles and things that were happening here. This is from stuff that was happening in the UK with thoughts on the American Revolution. That's still an interesting piece of history, but I'm approaching auction houses in the UK right now. I just want to get it to the proper kind of place. We did have a book buyer in New York make an offer on it, but I think that it deserves to go to an auction where somebody like a university or museum has a chance to bid on it, not just sell it privately. So that's why I'm biding my time on that. But it would be nice if that could even pay for like part of the renovation on the new space. So we'll see. Lots of stuff. I've been putting some more expensive things up on eBay, and a lot of people have been having trouble finding the eBay account. You have to go to eBay Canada, which is ebay.ca, and then look up Curiosity Incorporated. That's where you find us. So if you see some crazy expensive records and some stuff on there, that's because I took some of the very best stuff that was in the collections and putting it up there, because I'm trying to payroll essentially buying the paint job on my car. That's what the goal is right now. I'm just selling off some stuff so I can afford to get that car painted and progress with it anyway. Yeah, some of you were asking about that. Let's see. Oh yeah, I think Melissa is. Are you gonna join me? Do I get your presents? I'm still nervous. She owes me.
I said you should be nervous.
I am nervous. Look, I'm making room for my spouse.
Oh, you're on your phone today. Hi, everyone.
I am.
Oh, I gotta squeeze in. It's a tiny little space.
How could it be a tiny space? It looks like we're in a forest.
We're not in a forest. We're behind like the end part of a table, and it's right up against the wall.
Yeah. Okay. I think, when I think about what the plans are this year, sell off the old store is priority. Like, I can't think of another priority more important than that, because selling off that old store will give us the capital to go after the other dreams. So I have to try and look at what the priorities are this year and try and tackle them one at a time. The problem is, it's not like selling a building isn't easy. Selling a building isn't, it's not like it just happens overnight. So I have to be patient, and that kind of is slowing down all the other stuff that's going on.
We all know how patient Alexandra is.
That's why I say I can never be a doctor, because I have no patience.
That's so funny.
That's right.
Oh wait, I just missed. It looks like summer. Funny enough, it's like -40 here, which is the same in Fahrenheit and in Celsius. But I'm unwilling to admit that I would freeze outside.
Oh, Panama Red's asking about the World War II Rolex that I got.
Oops. Oh, yeah.
That is actually, I have to check with the repair shop. Man, thanks for reminding me. I'll check with them today. It was in getting a service, and I have the box and papers for it too. It's a nice piece. I'll post that probably on eBay when that comes up. So just follow our eBay account for some of these items that come through. And if usually I'll put it up at the price with the best offer. And I'm the sort of person that will accept whatever the best offer is that comes through. So feel free to make an offer on things if you ever see it.
If somebody's interested in buying a record off of you, how do they contact you?
Always just email me. Email is the best. Messages get lost in YouTube. Messages get lost in Instagram and even in Facebook. But if it goes through to our email account, which is curiosityedmonton@gmail.com, that will come right to me. And I'm much better at checking the emails than I am the other stuff, just because it's just me that monitors the emails and that. I don't have like a team of people working. It's not like, you know, the Washington Post circa 1972 where they're all like on typewriters. Say, we got this new copy in, boss. It's like, no,
But,
it's
and then
not
you
that.
get a lot of junk mail too. Like it'll be mixed in. I'm just starting to get the junk mail where there's a lot of people saying, hey, we'll take over this. And yeah, it's.
Oh, wait, the Bargain Barons wrote us? They said they were waiting to hear from you after they contacted you a while ago.
That was you. Those are the.
Yeah,
that's
in
a couple
Saskatchewan.
From, yeah, the States.
I wrote them back like ages ago, but
Maybe they have the same thing.
Maybe
with
they,
their,
yeah,
with
maybe
their
they're-
email.
yeah.
Yeah, I've watched them before.
Yeah, they go garage sailing and look for cool stuff.
And they find like some pretty cool stuff as well.
So I mean that's the basic content I have planned this year. I have to finish restoring a raccoon-infested Rolls-Royce. I have to start construction on a building. I have to sell another building, and make some trips around the U.S. and Canada. We also want to go on a family vacation somewhere warm. We haven't been anywhere really nice in a while. See you, Christine. Thanks for coming. So aside from all those things that we're doing, we're also open to content suggestions. Like, what are the sorts of things that you guys like watching on the channel? What are things that you might like seeing on the channel? What would you like to see more of? You know, I do unboxing videos every once in a while. I go antiquing. In fact, I'm going to be going to do a video today. But if you have suggestions, put it in the comments below, or when this finishes up, then you can leave it in the comments of the video too. But I'd love to know what you guys would like to see more of. What content are you excited to watch and see? And I know a lot of you have said buy another hoarder house. Not that I wouldn't, but I need to build. I have to focus on my future. Like the thing with YouTube, I think that finding, you know, doing YouTube when you're older like me, it's different than if you're younger. I think you see that I have this perspective that YouTube could end at any moment. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen, or they could, you know, things could stop, or YouTube could stop, or who knows. So I really have to think about our future, and our future is with our store and our business. That's what our main business is. So I have to focus on that. But I certainly would buy another hoarder house if one happened to come along, but we aren't sitting on the capital to be buying tons of properties.
Hopefully
right
it
now.
would be a lot closer. I mean.
Yeah, if we found one in town or something and the price was okay.
Not minus 40.
I have actually, I really enjoy doing building renovations. I've learned that about myself. I really love fixing and repairing and building and designing different spaces. So I would like to do more of that content too. It's just super pricey buying properties.
Everybody's saying now, look, there you go again, Grandpa Alex.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, Alexander is not, obviously he's not old.
Yeah.
It's funny because.
Ron saying, would love to know how much money you raised from the last 2 Castner auctions. So for those of you that, I'm just going to jump back to that in a second. Robert, thank you very much. Hopefully you will plan that visit to come see us in summer.
Oh yeah, he said he's glad that Stephen is getting used to the stuff he sent, trying to plan the visit. Stephen was pretty excited. Like, I know he said thank you and everything, but he was pretty happy. So thank you so much.
Okay, so I'm going to answer a couple of questions. One is we had bought a storage unit a little while back, and we were selling the contents to basically we're not taking money from it. It's just going back to repay people that were owed money. We're just kind of divvying it up and giving all the money away.
Trying to make everything right.
Yeah, it's not like we're philanthropists or anything. It's just it's the right thing to do with that particular merchandise.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're getting there. There's still a lot of people that need to be paid back, though.
We kind of learned a while ago when we did try to buy a storage unit to see how that was, and it didn't feel right for not only our channel but ourselves. It didn't feel good.
It wasn't on brand, so we took it down.
Yeah.
Rehabbing vintage items from the landfill. Oh, I have, you know, I've been meaning to do a video for a while that we have, like I have a little corgi. I used to restore Dinky and corgi toys from the 50s and 60s just for fun. And I have a James Bond car that's all broken, and I've been meaning to do a video about that. I've got all the parts and pieces. Maybe I'll just do one of that at, you know, in the near future as well. Today I have to go pick up I have a Spartan Bluebird radio, which if you're not familiar with it is one of the most beautiful Art Deco radios ever.
Oh, I didn't even notice it wasn't upstairs.
Yeah, I was off getting repaired. I have to go pick it up
Oh
at
my
1 o'clock today.
Okay.
That's on my to-do list today. But the guy that did the repair, I think we're going to do a little video there, and he's going to talk about the stuff he has. And he says he's got lots of...
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's got lots of other stuff too, so...
And then our other goal is, it was Steven's birthday yesterday, and he has some birthday money to go spend at the art store.
Yeah.
That's happening.
Yeah, it was Steven's 15th birthday yesterday.
15. I remember when I was 15, that's when I started dating this guy. Oh my gosh. It puts it into perspective when you have a kid that is that age. Whoa.
Yeah, he's way too young. Let's see.
The visit with Mr. Bailey.
Okay, let's see. Have you ever found something awesome in a storage locker somewhere you just couldn't part with? Not really. No. I don't know. I have this weird philosophy, I guess, on, you know, after seeing my dad go and seeing so many people pass away, you realize you can't take anything with you. Not that I didn't realize that before, but just possessions really don't matter a whole lot to me. I mean, I enjoy having things to look at, and to involve myself with, you know, like old cars are fun. You drive them around, you fix them up, but I know it's all temporary. You know, I don't want to be a downer, but I mean, you know, things don't last forever. So when I find something really cool in a storage unit, that's exciting for me. Finding the stuff is my excitement.
The treasure hunt.
Yeah, but I'm not necessarily all about keeping it forever. I'd like to find things that other people will enjoy and give them happiness in their lives. And then it can go.
Means a lot more too. When you find like something that brings somebody else joy, that's the gift in itself, not the thing. The thing never is the gift.
Yeah, somebody said tell the story about the leaky car in the car wash. Did you tell somebody about that?
What? I thought you were here for that.
I don't know if I was here for that.
I was, whatever. I for sure would have been laughing if I.
I can tell you this much.
No, they read minds.
Melissa's been telling on me. I've been into old cars for a long time.
Yeah, since I've known you.
Yeah, ever since my very first car, when I was probably 14 or 15, I bought a 1949 DeSoto, which is not a very fancy car. In fact, it was a car that was owned by a funeral home and then put in a barn for many years. So when I got it, it was all black, no radio, it had fancy footrests in the back. It was like an almost limousine. It was like a fancy car for a small town when somebody dies. That's what it was. And it was a really bad car. It had a fluid drive transmission. I hated driving it. But that was my first car. So over years, we've had many cars come and go. Many cars come and go. And Melissa, it was when we were living in this house.
Yeah. I think so. Was it?
I don't remember what type of car it was.
I thought it was the BMW with the. It wasn't the 7, was it?
No, it was
something with old series. No,
I think it was an old Jag or something like that. And anyway,
I
had bought this car. Let's just say it was an 80s Jag XJ6 or something like that, you know.
It was something like that.
And I wanted to go to the car wash, so I went to the car wash, and I didn't go to the wand wash. I went to like a power car wash, and it was. You know, everything was fine. You pull in and then the automatic soap starts going over top. You're like, well, this is nice. It's like you're being blanketed in a soapy goodness. And it kind of goes down the sides of the car and you're like, this is so relaxing. Usually I find car washes relaxing, normally. And that was the last time I was at a car wash, maybe 15 years ago or so. But I can tell you it was not relaxing because the minute that they finished putting the soap on the side of the car, the high pressure jets turned on, like that. And it starts with the sides and everything's okay. But then it gets to the driver's door and I realize that the seals on the door are not good anymore at all. And so I am like trying to block the windows with my arm as I'm getting sprayed.
Oh,
and
I thought it was the roof.
No, I'll get there.
Oh.
So first I start off and I'm blocking like the wind, the side with my arms and my coat soaking wet and my shirt soaking wet. And I'm trying to block all the water from coming through. And then as I think I've got, my finger in the hole in the side of the levee, it's like, oh, it stopped. Then aside from the side pressure, they decide to start putting high pressure water from the top. And guess what? Old Jags have a sunroof. And so the sunroof also is leaking. So I'm trying to block it here. And then I'm getting completely doused in water through the roof. And so at some point I just kind of gave up and I was like, and so the car, it kind of like pushes you out of the car wash. Like you have no control. You're like on a chain drive kind of thing. It's just like, blah, it lumped the corpse of my car out at the end. And I'm soaking wet head to toe. Like, I mean, I'm not even just like a little bit wet. I mean, I'm full on the interior of that car. I had to open the door and probably let water out. It was the worst.
The funniest for me is once he got home and he gets out of the car, but he's like drenched, like he went for a shower in his clothes, and his shoes were even making the like.
It was bad.
And he did not look happy. Like he wasn't laughing about it at the time. And of course, I couldn't stop laughing. Like to this day, I'm still laughing.
It was traumatic. Never take an old car through a power wash. So,
oh my gosh.
Whenever they ask me, you fill up for gas and like, do you want a car wash? I'm like, no, I don't want a car wash. I don't trust any of the cars I have. I don't even think I trust new cars to go through a car wash. So after that, I only go to the wand wash.
Yeah, that would have made a good YouTube video. You know what? Whenever it's like something like that, something that happens in the moment and you happen to catch it on film, people don't believe it's real. Like when we got that case with the coins in it, they're like, I think I would have thought that was fake too, but I had to help sort all that change. So,
Citizen Snoke, please email me pictures to curiosityedmonton@gmail.com. Melissa will add it in the comments there.
I wasn't listening. What did you say?
Citizen Snoke has a euphonium. Basically, if you've got an old cool coin op anything, I'm probably interested in it. What address did you give him? Curiosityedmonton@gmail.com. Curiosity. Yep. So don't go to power washes like that anymore. Yeah. We are, let's see. Yesterday was Steven's birthday. We're going later today to get him some art supplies. If you haven't checked out Steven's channel, by the way, it's under Steven Draws.
CuriosityEdmonton@gmail.com.
Yeah. And do you want to put Steven's channel in there too? So you guys can see what Steven's up to, and Melissa's going to put his channel link in here.
I know, but what is it? It's like with a Z, right?
No, I think it's just Steven_Draws. We should know. Yeah.
We should know.
We should know.
I have it as a link when I put it underneath my videos.
I should probably do that with this one too. I should embrace technology.
We'll do that. We'll put an actual link down below for Steven's channel once we have the chance to edit this. Thank you, Abigail.
If you haven't checked out our oldest son, Steven, has a YouTube channel where he's been doing his drawings, which is nice because he's like a little art factory down there now.
And I like the way that he edits. Like, I like how he does the different shots and everything. It reminds me a little bit of how Josh is editing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool kid. We must have done something right. So Steven's going to keep working on his channel this year. I don't know. Here we are in January. I have kind of this roadmap laid out for what I hope is going to happen. I hope. And I remember saying this last year. I remember saying the general store is probably not going to happen. I don't see a way of making it happen. But
I can't imagine it of not happening. That's where we're different. As soon as he puts out a thought into the world, it happens. Like every time, every single time. And the thing is that we might have a plan of how we think the year is going to go, and it never happens like that. The adventures end up coming to us exactly when they're meant to. Like we didn't know about Hans or the Potter's house happening or any of that. That just came when it was meant to. So.
Oh, yeah.
You just have to be open to the adventures when they show up in your lives, I think.
I don't know if you guys remember a video that I did last year. I went to a guy's house and it was just completely packed full of die-cast cars and dioramas and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
He phoned me, or he emailed me and said he's ready to sell some stuff. I'm going there tomorrow. So I should have a couple interesting videos coming out in the next day or two because those things haven't happened yet. I haven't gone to the radio guy's place this afternoon yet. I haven't gone to the toy guy's place tomorrow. There's just stuff happening pretty much every day.
I'm putting up a video hopefully today. I have still my last part of the Christmas. You know, the thing is that Christmas is so crazy that you get a whole bunch of little snippets, and it's not really a video, but I'm making it one.
Yeah.
It's happening, and then I'll have some actual videos for this year.
You want to know what one of my more popular videos has been? When we were talking about, people were saying I like the how-to or instructional videos. I did one of my very first videos was how to take heat stains or stains out of wood by using a hairdryer or a heat gun.
We have to do it again. We should do it again.
Yeah, I need to do it again. It actually works. Like if you put something hot on a wooden surface and then it discolors it, kind of makes it look foggy.
We could show it. We have some.
Yeah. Well,
You might not see it.
I did a little video just like, hey, you could take a heat gun and do it. And then it's like that thing went all over the place. And I still get people all the time who write me like, I can't believe this actually worked. I had this one person write me and they're like, I was staying at my boss's house. They lent me their place for the weekend or whatever. And I thought I ruined their table and I was in so much trouble, but I fixed it. So
can you imagine if it hadn't worked though? It could have been way worse. I mean, it must depend on what kind of finish you have on, because what happens if you had a really shiny coating on the top? Would that still work?
Yeah, usually.
It wouldn't take the finish off?
No, you don't push it right against.
Yeah.
You have to hold it back and keep moving it.
It was weird. Like, it looks like it's coloring itself. Like, the stain is going into that area.
It's like the humidity from the wood or the moisture from the wood gets trapped in the clear coat or something. Anyway, it works.
Heat. Yeah,
a lot of the times it works anyway.
I'm still amazed. We have to do it.
Yeah, but we'll try and do a few more kind of how-to sort of videos. And trust me, I am not a professional car restorer. If you've watched my series on anything, you probably know that. I'm just a guy who's willing to try and to try and make things work. I
think that's why we're relatable, because we're just like everybody else, and we saw something, we're like, hey, let's see if this actually works. But then we take you guys along for the ride.
Yeah, and you were talking about this the other day, like when you do a cooking video or something, you're like, I wonder how many people that do instructional.
I never thought about it, because that's one of my most requested videos, and they're like, more cooking videos. I am just at home going like, oh, what am I going to cook today? And then I film some, they're like, oh, that looks so good. It was good, but in no way am I a cook. I'm literally just a person that looked in a cookbook and thought, let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
But more of those are coming.
So, I do like to cook too. I mean, I know how to cook.
Oh no, that's for my videos.
I know, I don't do that kind of stuff on my videos, but somebody said Alex should learn to cook or something.
Yeah, he can cook really well, actually.
I know how to cook. I just, don't put all those things on the channel.
In fact, he even made lunch yesterday. I won't say what you made.
Oh, yeah, that was real fancy.
Well, Stephen was kind of feeling like he had a cold, so he wanted comfort food. So.
Oh, that Matthew said he made the deviled eggs from your video. Matthew, her deviled eggs are my favorite deviled eggs. Like, I don't know, other people make them, and I'm all excited, and then I try it, and I'm like, blah. But then I eat hers, and I'm like, yeah, those are deviled eggs.
I used somebody's suggestion, because I made them for Christmas as well, but I just put them in a baggie and cut the tip off and piped it out, and it looks all fancy.
Yeah, no, if you haven't tried Melissa's deviled egg recipe, it's my favorite for deviled eggs.
It sounds like it's something other than just a regular deviled egg recipe. I think he's just biased because it's me.
Somebody said I can do manifold cooking with the Rolls-Royce once it's finished.
Yeah, gross. I'll be a taste tester, just no meat.
The thing about the Rolls-Royce is that it is, it's an extremely expensive car to pay somebody else to do, if that makes sense. Like if I was paying somebody to rip out the carpet and vacuum out the rodent debris and stuff that's in there, I wouldn't be able to afford to do it. So I'm doing this on a budget. I'm trying to do one of the most expensive cars to restore on basically a budget. So I'm trying my best to save what I can in terms of the leather. I'm trying to clean what I can. I'm trying to put back into good condition what I can. It's much less expensive than buying all new stuff or to take everything in and get it reupholstered. But there's certain things I had to take in to get reupholstered and done. But if there was upholstery in good condition, yeah, I'm dyeing it versus getting it redone because it's already in good shape and saving a whole bunch of money.
Somebody said we should have a cook-off. Make sure your wife wins.
Hey, somebody said, will you keep the Rolls-Royce when it's done? I don't know. I want to see if it's even doable first. I want to see what the car ends up looking like when it's all done. The Rolls-Royce isn't necessarily my dream car. To be honest with you, I much prefer the little BMW I said I have over the Rolls-Royce. Like out of the cars I have in my garage right now, the BMW Isetta and the Rolls, I would always go for a fun, quirky, weird car over a somewhat fancy car.
Oh yeah, Ryan from Josh's channel is good with cars and like loves to help out. That's true. We don't really know Ryan outside of Josh.
I've met him a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I should probably talk to Ryan. Oh, Kathleen's asking what color we're going to paint it. Right now, Kathleen, the plan is to paint the car the factory color, which is the silver. I think it's kind of a timeless color on a car like that. So we'll see. Somebody's asking, what's your dream car?
My dream car? Anything that doesn't slip on the ice.
That's not true. Melissa does actually have a dream car, and I
But
know
I
what it
don't
is.
want to buy it though.
Melissa has expensive taste when it comes to cars.
Well, they have two that I really like.
She has two that she likes.
Yeah.
She would either like to have an Aston Martin DB5
Or
like,
DB6.
or DB6, like James Bond car, you know. If she can't have that one, do you want all the guns on it too and stuff? No? You do
but
get a little road ragey at times. That might
what
come
was
in
the year of
handy.
Ferrari that I like? It's like a.
She also
50s
likes
or a 60s?
a late 50s or like about a 1961 Ferrari. I think it's a 365.
But they're like 2 million. I was like, oh, let's see how realistic it is. I mean, everything's realistic if you work towards it. But I mean, I'm not going to throw down 2 million on a car. There's no. Even if I had 2 million to just, I don't think I could ever justify something like
That's
that.
a lot of money. I'd be worried about being in a parking lot. And
I wouldn't be
getting
worried
door
about
dings and
that.
stuff.
I would feel, I don't know. I would have that guilt of spending that money on something like a car when I could have helped somebody or.
Yeah. So she likes those kind of cars. We used to look through. I
drive a Volvo XC90.
Yeah.
Just in case you're curious what I actually drive.
It's
And I
been
drive
alright.
like 7 kids around every day.
Yeah, she's like a little school bus in that car. It's been a good vehicle. For me, I had a Jag XKE years ago, and we sold it because we needed the money. They're not hugely expensive cars, but I used to really love the lines of that car, and I think Enzo Ferrari or somebody from Ferrari said that was the nicest car ever designed was the E-Type Jag. And frankly, I like the look of the 2+2s. Some of the other cars I've owned that were really good. I had a Volvo PV544 that was just weird and cute. And
Yeah, it was cool though.
I drove it all year round. Like I'm driving the Cadillac year round. I drove around in a PV544. How many cars have you had, Alex?
100, 200, more than that.
Probably more than that.
300.
I don't know. Too many. But yeah, the expensive cars scare me a little bit. In part, it doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't match my character, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like.
But I would like an E-Type just because I think it's a beautiful car. Like a 2+2 or a two-door coupe. I don't really want a convertible. So if we won the lottery or if we were able to sell off everything we have, I would go and get a really nice one of those. That would be my dream car.
I'm like the strange person that does not ever want to win the lottery.
No, I agree. I would not want to win the lottery. In fact, we're probably not going to, because we don't buy
true.
we don't buy lottery tickets.
No, the closest thing occasionally we get a scratch ticket and a Christmas card or.
Yeah, I always say like if I won the lottery, but the truth is.
But I mean, I think we mean it in a different way where it might be an investment that turns out really well for us, or because we've hit the lottery many times in our life. But not necessarily where we could pay everything off and all our friends' stuff off. And
Yeah, you come across big lump sums, but then you're so much in debt, it just kind of disappears anyway.
And sometimes it puts us in the position to help other people, which is, I think, what it's all about anyway.
But the thing is, in my business as an antique dealer, old cars find me all the time.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't even go looking for them, but I'll be out somewhere or people will contact me. So to give you an example, this is what's come my way the last week. Somebody has stored in a hoarder type garage situation about a 1969 or 70 El Camino with a factory 396. Now they said they might sell that car. It's a rust-free car that's been sitting for like 40 years. I'm not going to say no to a 396 El Camino. Doesn't mean it's my dream car, but I wouldn't say no. I mean, if they offered it to me. Also last year I bought that Alfa Romeo Giulietta Spyder that had been hit in the front end.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the person who sold me that car, they had 2 other cars they need to sell. Neither one run, but another one's an Alfa Romeo, but it's the graduate model, about a 1966 or 7. which is from the movie The Graduate, Dustin Hoffman. Anyway, if you haven't seen it, it's a cool car. But they also have like an early 80s Rolls-Royce that is not running, and I think they're both going to be pretty much dirt cheap. So how do you say no when you get offered really cool stuff? This is the problem. Maybe I should just start selling like old classic cars at the store or something too. We'll line them all up like,
Well,
you know.
well, as long as they're not in my house, because we have an attached garage, and I have a very sensitive sniffer and migraines. So
I had a late 70s Saab 900 Turbo. Saabs were a good car, especially the early 900s. Anyway,
I think
Jane is saying 35 Auburn is her dream car. I have an opportunity to buy an Auburn Cord right now too. That might be something for a future video for this year. I went and looked at it. Oh, it was so sad. I said to the guy, "Can I do a video while I'm here?" Yes, you can do a video. So I did this amazing video, which is still unpublished, of finding a Cord that had been, if you don't know what a Cord is, it's a really cool car, very ahead of its time, front wheel drive, hideaway headlights, Art Deco, beautiful car. Found one sitting under a tarp. And then the guy also has like a crated engine from a Spitfire aircraft. He's got all kinds of stuff. So I do this video and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. He's like, I don't mind you do the video, just don't show anyone. I'm like, well, what's the point of me doing the video then? So I can't show anybody all the cool stuff that I found. But if I end up getting that Cord from him, which we're going to talk about this spring, that might be a future series for here as well.
so. A lot of people ask, and Pamela, it's like the least nosy question I've heard. This is just you can probably see it moving. It's just a canvas from IKEA. So it has like an aluminum frame that you stretch the canvas over and tuck it in, and we hung it up. We needed something huge for this wall that didn't cost us a fortune. So
I'm just trying to read the comments here.
hi from the Netherlands.
The Swedish cars are great. Never had a problem with the Swedish car. Actually, that's a lie. I did have a problem. I had a Saab 900 and it was great. It was like a 77 900 Turbo or something. One of them. I was like, this is a good car. Like everybody should be driving these things. It was fun. It was sporty. It was amazing. Loved it. And I had a Volvo at that time too. And then I thought, okay, well, I'll buy like a 97 Saab, the equivalent. It was trash. And I think it's because, I hate to say it, it was purchased by a North American company that put a really junky engine in it. And I was driving down the highway and it blew up. It literally blew up. The engine blew up. And it shot.
Didn't like leave like a little powder.
No, it wasn't like a little tiny puff of smoke. I mean, engine oil shot out of the side of the engine and went onto the exhaust manifold and flames were shooting. It blew up. And so that car was not so good. But the early Saabs were fine. But yeah, the later ones, I don't know. I would stay well clear of them. Because I got a different engine put in that car and I continued driving it. And then that engine blew up on the next person who bought it for me. So I don't think they're very good engines they put in those ones. But
hi, Yolanda. I feel like I see you so much in the comments that I just figured you have been on a live chat.
let's see. The BMW I had was not good either. I've had good BMWs. Like I had a 69 BMW 2002. That was a good car. Loved it. No problems with that. The 60s and 70s BMWs are generally quite good, even up through the 80s. But the 2014 or whatever wagon that I had, that thing was not so good.
So guess who I see on the chat?
Oh.
Madness.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Dakota.
Dakota's on.
He said hashtag so oatmeal. Oh, wait. So croatmeal? I missed it now.
So anyway, there's been a lot of cars come and go, but I think after all is said and done, the Rolls is cool. We've owned one before. We've owned a Rolls-Royce before. And I don't know, it's just like a big floaty kind of old man car. I hate to say it. Like somebody might disagree, but to me it's the equivalent of if you go to a fancy hotel and they have like a room that doesn't make sense, like maybe it's a smoking room and you're like, well, this doesn't make sense. Nobody smokes anymore. And you go and they have like a big red leather chair and you sit in it and all you can hear is a clock ticking. And you're like, well, I don't really want to hang around in here for very long. That's what it's like to sit inside of a Rolls-Royce. You're like, it's kind of over the top and doesn't make sense and it's really comfortable, but I think I'm going to go somewhere else. Like it wasn't really fun. And I'm sorry for all the people who are really into Rolls-Royces and maybe they'll say like, oh, you don't know the new cars and stuff. But
they're like, unsubscribe.
Yeah, somebody might be unsubscribing, but it's just like a kind of like, yeah, it's
good
fancy.
that we all have different opinions though. Otherwise this would be pretty boring.
Okay. Here's the nice thing about it. They're built well. I mean, in the sense that they're solid. The ride is very smooth. It gets around fine. Like you're like, yeah, it's a nice vehicle, but it kind of feels for me, and maybe it's psychologically for me, it doesn't feel like something I should. It doesn't feel like somewhere I should be. It feels like I'm like, well, like the smoking lounge at a fancy hotel. I'm like, well, A, I don't smoke, and B, none of my friends are hanging out in here, so it does. It's not like a me kind of car, I guess. We'll see. Maybe once I pack all the kids in it. There's not a whole lot of cars out there that are 5-seater convertibles nowadays. And this car is a 5-seater convertible, so my whole family can fit in it, and that's a plus. Um, in terms of mechanical condition of the car, I don't know what kind of condition it's in. I have all the receipts and records up until about 2003 of it being meticulously maintained, and then it was parked. So I don't know how much damage happened in the time that it was sitting, other than the raccoons eating the interior. Nothing seems to have gotten inside the engine. I have not tried to turn it over, but assuming that nothing got inside the engine, the car should be in mechanically okay condition. And the fact that it's sitting, sitting at a proper level, a lot of times the hydraulic suspension in that car, if it's messed up, will sit weird or sit low in one end or another. It's sitting perfect. There's not a speck of rust on the whole car. And I think mechanically it's not going to be too bad. So that's why right now I'm kind of putting all my money into the stuff that makes the car look bad, the interior and then the paint. I'm going to get all that done. Mechanically, I'm not as worried because I can see it was very well maintained for a long time. And even if it does need some kind of restoration work to the engine, a friend of mine, Scott, is a Rolls-Royce mechanic who's agreed to do some of the work on the mechanical for me.
Oh, thanks, Matthew. He put Steven's YouTube up.
Yeah, somebody said that we look tired. I look tired because she was pesting me. Well, okay, I was pesting her.
Yeah.
Yeah, we.
Oh, the truth comes out. Plus, we have the lighting. The sun is finally coming up, and our it's not the best lighting. It's going to cause a whole bunch of shadows. So, and I just was getting ready, so it's slowly drying and becoming more and more frizzy. You will eventually see that.
They're saying, "How are you sleeveless when it's like minus 27 degrees
It's warm
outside?"
in my house. Plus,
Yeah.
I don't like stuff touching my arms.
Oh, thank you so much. Ata says, Hans update when? I'm pretty much just letting Hans do his thing right now. It's too
Yeah.
cold for us to do any kind of renovation work on his house. His place, he's living in it. I mean, it like if I went to go visit Hans, it'd just be like, go have coffee with Hans, and his house is set up and he's living in it. He'll start on the renovations of it, I assume, probably come springtime, and when he's ready for that, I'll help him with that too. But in terms of a Hans update, right now he's just staying warm, keeping his house up, and nothing in terms of renovations has happened yet. He's got money aside to fix the foundation on it, but that'll all be come spring, summer when it warms up a bit.
We should sell the snow on eBay. Somebody, I missed what your name was now. It ended up going in with the comments. But somebody said that they wondered if you got their gift. It was a T-shirt. Was that the motorcycle one?
I had a guitar one that
Or a
came.
guitar.
Yeah, it was awesome. And sometimes people send really nice things to the shop, and I apologize that we don't go through and do thank you videos all the time to it, but we certainly appreciate it. Matthew Fox is a viewer like you guys, Barb is asking. He's a viewer who's been watching our channel for a long time, so he's helping to moderate for us.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's
and you
super
guys
nice
should
guy.
check out his, hold on, let me make sure I get that.
Raccoons are tasty. I don't know. They're what do they call them? Trash pandas? I don't think I'd
Trash
want to eat
panda.
something that ate garbage for its main course meal.
I
but-
see it like every day, Matthew, your jewelry site, and you think I can find it right now? If you don't mind putting your Facebook for the jewelry. He makes amazing jewelry and bracelets and everything. But he's become a friend of ours, and he helps us out on our channel. So we're super lucky to have him.
When I was a kid, we're talking about somebody said raccoon hat. I don't think a lot of people would think it's really cool to wear a raccoon hat nowadays. But when I was a kid, and I had a dad who grew up in the 50s, and he was really into cowboy stuff. So for me, I grew up kind of watching the same kind of Roy Rogers and John Wayne movies and stuff that my dad liked when he was a kid. So I was like, when we went to Montana back in the early 90s, all I wanted from Montana was a replica flintlock rifle, a raccoon hat, and I wanted one of those Bowie ties with the little, I think it had quartz or something here. And
I
then it
feel
had
like
the
this
strings
is
that
going to
came
happen
down.
where he's going to wear this outfit on some vlog somewhere.
Oh, there was a period of time that I wanted to be a cowboy in the worst way. Then I found out I was deathly allergic to horses, and so that kind of put a kibosh on everything. And plus, I don't know what kind of cowboy I'd make, but I can play guitar and sing cowboy songs on occasion.
He's like deathly allergic to horses, though.
Yeah.
But he's not allergic to work, so that part you'd be okay.
Hi, hey Patrick. When are you going to record an album? I don't know. I do. You know, one thing I wanted to get done this year is I want to put out a properly produced, not just me playing guitar in front of a camera, like an actual song that sounds like something, you know, like maybe somebody who knew what they were doing put it together. So if anybody out there knows how to produce or make country music and wants me to sing
I
or do
can't
something.
believe out of all the music in the end, you ended up liking country music. Like, that was a surprise for me.
It's not, okay.
Like old country music.
Yeah, probably, you know,
But
you know
you
what
never
it is.
listened to that kind of music.
And that's why it's new to me, I guess. I don't know. It's not that I didn't listen to it. It's just I went for a lot of years. I don't know. You know, you go through phases. I went through phases when I was a young guy, and all I listened to was electronic music. All that was pumping out of my
True.
car for a while.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got into more like, you know, obscure pop music, you know, like Depeche Mode and the Cult and Cure and the Clash and the Sex Pistols and stuff like that, or the Ramones. Then it was 60s music, and then I kind of just started to discover, you know, folk music. And then you get into folk and you start learning more about old country. And so for me, some of that music was newer to me. And when you listen to new music that you really like, it's fun to play along with. And plus, my voice naturally goes in that 40s kind of country vibe that I just can't get out of. So, yeah. So anyway, that's why that all happened. But somewhere there's, you know, going to be some kind of ability for me to combine those things into one type of song. I'll think of it at some point.
Do you know?
I'm just reading the comments right now.
Oh, okay.
Why have you been on American Idol? They do a Canadian version. First off, I think they don't do Canadian Idol anymore.
But
And I know that they don't do Canadian Idol because I worked on that show.
yeah, I helped work on it too for a day or two.
I don't know. You know, I went through phases where I thought, man, I'm just not as good of a singer as a lot of other people. And then you listen to songs on the radio that are like top 40 hits, and they auto-tune the heck out of their stuff. I'm pretty sure those people, maybe I shouldn't say this as bold, but it seems like a lot of singers, when you listen to how much auto-tune they use, I wonder how good of a singer they actually are, because there's a lot of auto-tune that happens on modern music. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Dakota said, I want you to sing some Nirvana.
Oh, thank you, Jane Stevens. Thank you. Sorry we missed you.
I didn't see her either. So it'll freeze sometimes on the phone, and then all of a sudden it just goes, and it shoots
and it
everything
catches up.
through. Yeah.
Yeah, like right now I'm not getting any messages. Where
Yeah, that's it. And then it'll go blank. And we know that you guys are obviously writing, but it'll just be blank. It's weird. I've never seen that till today.
Yeah, so I'll, please don't sing ABBA. Wasn't planning on it.
Oh, well, now it has to happen.
No, I don't want to sing. What am I going to sing? Dancing Queen like Johnny Cash?
Yeah.
That would be a thing. I don't think anybody want to listen
we're
to.
still working on getting everybody paid back because there's a lot of auctions that have to go through, and there was a lot of money owed. So we're still in the process of getting everybody paid back, but it's well on its way, which is really encouraging.
Thank you, Nick from Ontario. Let's see. Josh wants me to sing a song. He wants me to do a Johnny Cash song, though.
He just said Nirvana. Oh, that's Josh.
That's Dakota.
Nirvana.
Yeah, no, your brother wants me to do a Johnny Cash song for one of his videos, and I have it printed off and I'm learning it right now. I think I can do it.
He's laughing.
For me, the Johnny Cash stuff is kind of easy. I did Tennessee Stud already, if you haven't seen that one on there. Ring of Fire, like all the Johnny Cash songs are really easy. Well, I shouldn't say easy, but for me, they're easy. They just flow. I shouldn't say easy. They flow. They come naturally. I want to try and push myself and do something different, but I only have that certain timbre to my voice, I guess, that tenor kind of. Anyway, we'll think of something anyhow.
How would William find out? He said, what about my newspaper announcing Lincoln's death value? So how would he go about finding out the value of something like that?
If you have something that, I mean, most people have a way to check the value on things in their pocket, and that's your phone. The best way to look is to see, has somebody else ever sold something like that before, and historically, what has it gone for? Lincoln assassination paper, I'm sure something like that has gone before. A Napoleon death mask, there might only be a couple of those out there, so you might not have an easy time finding out the value. I've had a few things in my life that I can't find a value on. When I needed to find the value of the Bambi animation cell, because I didn't know what it was worth when I first bought it.
Yeah.
That was part of the whole problem in the first place. I started looking it up online, and I found that there was a gallery that had one similar, and they said, please contact us for price. So I emailed them, and then they told me what they were asking. So that gave me kind of a base value of what maybe they were selling for. But I would say just do your research for sure, and you'll be able to find out. Online is the best resource. When you get something really rare, you either have to guess at what you think it's worth, or sometimes put it through auction. Like for me, I have that really rare book from the 1700s. I have no idea what it's worth. Ultimately, it'll be worth whatever anybody's willing to pay for it, but you have to get it in front of the right crowd. So for me, I'm trying to get it into a good auction where the right people will be there, and then it will go for whatever it goes for.
Did you sing The Man of Constant Sorrow? I've heard you sing it, but did you sing it on here?
I haven't sung it on here though, no.
Mel, somehow you knew.
My thoughts on Neil Peart's passing. Well, Neil Peart, of course, was a very famous drummer in a Canadian band, Rush. He just wasn't that old of a guy, and I don't know what other thoughts to have other than it's sad when we lose anybody. I hope that if anybody ever has heard his drumming, he's an incredibly skilled drummer, you know, probably one of the best that was ever out there. And if you want to see crazy drumming, I mean, his skills are bad. You should watch a video of him drumming. So it's very sad to lose anybody.
Yeah.
But he left behind quite a legend behind him. So let's see, Matthew Fox, just reading some of these. Yeah, and I found Rush's first album in with my dad's stuff too. So I have that at the store, which was pretty cool. It's just a album that says Rush in big pink letters on the front of it.
So when we have minus 40 or lower, everything still stays open. Our city doesn't shut down. Like, I'm sure if there was like some kind of disaster, but it's supposed to be even colder. One night it's supposed to get to minus 47, and I'll still be opening my class, and the kids still go to school, and our store still stays open. If the car starts, we go.
Yeah. Do you close the shop when the weather's bad?
That's what I was just saying.
Oh, is that what you were answering? Oh,
Yeah.
that just popped up for me. Yeah.
Well, they wrote it more than once.
Okay, yeah, no, there's no down days typically.
No, and no snow days, unless if your car can get you there, then you open.
Yeah.
And you go to work. There's no, or school. There's no snow days or anything like that.
Yeah. It never gets, probably because we're really equipped for this type of weather. Like, they have snow plows out, they have trucks, and a lot of people say, I can't believe you drive the Cadillac in winter with all the salts on the road. They don't salt our roads here. They sand.
I thought there was salt in the sand because they got rid of the spray.
No, they don't salt our roads. If they salted our roads, the roads would be wet all the time because of the salt. They don't salt here.
Alexander is like the car wash. I'll leave mine for too long and I come home and it's magically clean because I know it's going to drive him crazy.
I don't think she's ever washed her car.
No, I might not have.
I don't think she's ever washed. That doesn't mean it doesn't get washed. It just means I look at it and go, something must be done about this.
I've washed it with the hose in the front before, like to get dirt
Yes,
off.
that's true.
But not.
Yeah. But anyway, so the cars don't rust as bad in our area, and they don't rust as bad in Saskatchewan either because they don't use a lot of
In
salt
Grand Prairie,
here.
they use salt, it says. I
Yes,
thought that
sure.
they changed it and that they put salt in the sand.
No,
this
that
year.
was the stuff that they tried last year, and then they got rid of it.
That was the spray.
Anyway,
I'm fairly sure there's salt in our sand.
It's not as bad. In fact, our street out front, they don't even scrape.
No.
They will leave what's called a snowpack on our roads, which means that you drive on the snow long enough that it turns into its own road.
It's so hard, but there's so many grooves that your car slides all over the grooves. Like, it's not.
Yeah, you'll probably get like maybe 2 inches of packed snow on your road surface, and that's what you drive on in neighborhoods and stuff. They don't scrape that at all. They will shovel down to a certain degree. Bus routes and major roads will get done down to the pavement, but otherwise, yeah. We don't get ice storms a whole lot. Ontario yesterday or today had a really bad ice storm where it rains and then freezes, and that can cause all kinds of problems. But we don't have that type of weather. We get snow and it sticks around for a while. And it really, you just adapt to it. It's not so bad.
It says that Edmonton is one of the lowest salt users of Canada's major cities. Only 12% of the materials added.
Anyway, so it doesn't really do much to the cars here.
But
Plus,
you wash it all the time anyway.
Yeah, I keep my cars pretty clean. I'm always washing them anyway.
Because we don't want to pay for rust repair either.
Yeah. So we are, I guess, going to come to the end of this live chat here, and it was really nice to chat with you guys and kind of connect. For those of you in New York City, that's the Pace Picani ad. You guys remember that? No? Where are you from, boy? This salsa from New York City. I'm just going to start quoting old commercials now. See, look, I am old. I remember the New York City Pace Picani salsa. Anyway, I went off on a tangent. Anyway, for those of you in New York City, this Canadian country boy is going to be out your way on February 21st, 2nd, and the 3rd. I believe that the plans right now are to do a meetup on the 21st around 7 p.m. I'm going to try and find a place in Manhattan somewhere. If you find yourself in that area and you want to come by for a visit, come over and say hi. But I'm there for business. I'm there to try and find some product for the store. I'm there to try and hopefully go on a couple adventures.
Oh, Matthew said he's going to try to make it.
Oh, Matthew, where are you?
He said he's 90 miles away from there.
Oh, okay. Well, I apologize if you have to drive. I would not want to wish driving in Manhattan on anybody.
Heather! Hi, Heather.
Yeah. So if you are able to make it down, I will post on my Facebook page where the location is going to be. I just wrote a message to a couple places that were nearby to my hotel. So hopefully one of them will respond back and we'll have an official location for that. I will see about whether we have time when I'm in Colorado, but that weekend is really all about Heather and her family, and I want to make sure I'm focused on that. But there will be a couple days where I have time for adventure, so stay tuned for that. We'll maybe do a meetup, and I really would like to try and find some places to go antiquing, both in New York and in Colorado. And yes, it's easy. I could look up antique stores and that kind of stuff, but that's not as fun as going to someone's lifetime collection at their house or property, and you get to buy it straight from the source. Somebody's asking, will you come back to Winnipeg at some point? And for those of you that don't know, Melissa and I lived in Winnipeg for a little while.
Yeah.
We've lived in different parts of Canada over the past number of years. I actually dreamt that I was in Winnipeg last night.
So that might be a yes.
Well, I went there and I went only in my dreams. Am I in Winnipeg? I literally dreamt I was in Winnipeg last night. That's weird. But yeah, there's lots of cool places to go digging around in Winnipeg.
Yeah, that's true.
Last time I was there, I did a video of it. I flew to Winnipeg and I just basically found a van that was for sale online, and I had a temporary transport sticker. And I bought this van, and then I went antiquing all the way back home, and I filled the van up to the roof, and I bought and sold stuff all along the way. I might do something like that again.
In like summertime, not.
In summertime, yeah. But if you guys haven't seen that video, I go to the airport with a backpack. I go to Winnipeg. I buy a van, sight unseen, and then I drive it back from Winnipeg all the way to Edmonton, and I buy stuff all along the way. So there was all kinds of neat stuff that came out of that. But I might do an adventure like that. That was kind of stressful, though, flying there with nothing and then trying to find somebody to buy a vehicle from. But maybe we'll do that again.
And something that would be reliable enough to drive for 12 hours.
Yeah, that's the one thing he said. He said it was cheap. It was like $400 or something like that for the van, because it was rusty, but it drove like brand new.
Wasn't that Honda?
No, I bought a Dodge Caravan. It was like a 2000 Dodge Caravan.
Where did we get the one that we took to, down the coast and filled it and brought it up?
Oh, that was just a van I bought locally.
Oh.
That was in, we were pinching our pennies, and that's all I could afford van.
Yeah, but we only used it for...
No, I drove it as my regular vehicle for a while.
Oh, yeah, because we needed something that could transport stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I had a Honda Odyssey for a little bit, too.
Oh, yeah, I thought that was that.
Yeah, that's the one. We took the Odyssey down through the States when we went to Portland. Yeah. So more adventures to come. I think one of the things we want to do more on our channel in the future is probably travel as a family and go on more adventures. So
yeah,
we will have lots more to show you this year. The year has only begun. But thank you for watching today's excessively long live chat. Mind you, Dakota's on right now. We can't beat your record, Dakota.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I can see how you can get chatting with people for a long time. It's like having a phone call. Anyway, more to come, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Check us out on Facebook under Curiosity Incorporated. Check us out on Instagram under Curiosity Inc. YEG. And YEG is our airport code for Edmonton, in case you're wondering. And yeah, more adventures to come. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.
Bye.